Welcome to this brief introduction to FastClose, one of the most powerful tools in the Epicor reporting suite. Installing in less than 40 minutes and giving the user instant access to modules covering pretty much the whole Epicor system through general ledger and accounts payable or receivable in finance, through sales, projects, inventory, assets, purchasing, manufacturing, banking, and so on. And in each of those modules, the reporting tool comes with a whole suite of templated reports ready to run out of the box, which the users can then use directly or modify to produce the reports that they require specifically for their business. Today, we're going to focus on the financial side of reporting in FastClose, and specifically in and around management reporting, i.e. balance sheet and profit and loss reporting and reconciliation. So I'm going to start by opening my GL balances as it comes straight out of the installation. And so within minutes of having FastClose installed, I can open up the GL balances template and run it instantly to get a trial balance. So within minutes, I have a trial balance from the reporting tool ready to go. I can start playing with the report straight away by changing what the report shows. For example, in my report, I can see a balance per period. And if I want to change that to show the balance and budget or just the budget amount, I can just go into my filter section here at the top and start changing that. If I want to do a soft consolidation across multiple companies, then I can add additional companies into the report, change the periods. And through the structure of my chart, where I have segments covering things like my division and my department or cost center or selecting ranges of accounts, and so on, I can do so and get that information directly back in the view that I'm seeing. So I've got instant manipulation of the standard reports that come out of the system. I'm going to change this report now just to run a very simple trial balance. So I'm going to remove a number of dimensions. I'm going to just look at the report specifically from a nominal account perspective. So I remove the division, just right click and remove the cost center or department, and also the company column. And FastClose immediately aggregates to the lowest level as it does that. So it's going to aggregate to the account level, showing me a balance specifically per nominal account. I've removed the budget view and the multi-company view at this stage. So now I just get a very simple trial balance looking at each period of the year. For my current company, Epic 03, balancing out at the end at 0, which is good to know. And from this trial balance, what I want to do now is save a couple of reports that I can reuse in the future. So I want to say, for example, a quick balance sheet. So I'm going to change the report filters to use the balance sheet accounts only for now. So we'll just run that. And that's giving me a balance sheet. So now I'll take this report and I'll save it so that I can reuse it in the future. So I'll add this to a folder. What we'll do is we'll create a new folder on the system for today. So again, the user can create their own folder structures. So I will call this Andrew's reports. And in there, I will save this as a quick balance sheet. And we'll OK that. So that's now saved. So I can now have a quick balance sheet anytime I wish by recalling and rerunning that report. Now I might want to offset that against the income statement. So again, I can actually, instead of hitting the search bar, I can just change that to account type I for income statement accounts and run this again. And now I've got an income statement view. And so what I'll do is I'll just save again and I'll save as, and we'll put it into my reporting folder again. And this time we'll call it my quick SAP and L for profit and loss. And we'll say OK on that. So that's now saved. Now I've got a quick balance sheet in P&L. Maybe I want to be able to see the two of them at the same time. So leaving my P&L open, I'll now go to my File Open option and I'll say Open my quick balance sheet. So now the two will appear as tabs within the report screen, and I can have as many open reports as I wish. If I want to be able to see the two of them simultaneously, what I can do is I can pull them into a view where they're side by side. So just grab the tab, drag it, and I can get to drop it anywhere that I want to on the screen. So I'll put it side by side with my P&L, and that allows me then to scroll. And if I want to look at the balances, I can see that the income statement and the balance sheet are in balance for each period with equal and opposing amounts running through those. Again, if I don't want to see these side by side anymore, I can just drag and drop these back into position as needs be. So again, you can manipulate the positions of the reports purely by drag and drop or using the mapping functions as well on the screen. So we'll just put it dead center like so. Now, let's just take my balance sheet, my profit and loss, my P&L or income statement. Maybe I want to start putting some structure on that. So let's build out some structures to make that look a little bit neater and maybe something formatted that I would want to put out to my management team as part of my management accounting pack. So we'll group our accounts into various hierarchies. And again, we can import those from Epicor, from the ERP system, as needs be. So there are all of the different chart account structures. And if I want to pull in the category and subcategory structures from the ERP system, I can. In this case, I'm just going to add. So we'll add a parent and child hierarchy on here to start grouping my accounts based on the account structure, like so. And so the very first node that I want to put in on my income statement is sales. And so we'll create a heading for that. And underneath sales, we will add a range node or a wildcard node. So we make it a wildcard node because I know all my sales and revenue accounts begin with 4. So we'll make it 4 asterisk. And now I want to put in another aggregation node for my cost of sales. So we'll call this cost of sales. And my heading on my report is going to look like this. And against that, I will add another wildcard node because I know all of my cost of sales accounts begin with 5. So 5 asterisk for that node as well. Now that I've got those done, what I can start doing is I can start aggregating. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. I can start putting in some summaries and totals of those. So let's just make sure that my cost of sales is sitting at the same level as sales, so I can indent and outdent and move my nodes around as well through the mapping tool. I'll add a new calculation node now to get my gross profit. So let's look for gross profit. Which is going to be the combination of my sales and cost of sales. So there's an expression builder here where I can just pick those up. And from my accounts list, I can see all of the accounts that are available in that table. But I can also see any nodes that I've already built into my structure. So I can take sales like so, and it starts to build out my expression up here. And I'll combine that by adding that to my cost of sales. Too many pluses, let's just put that back. And say OK on that front. So that gives me a gross profit value, and maybe I want to see that also as a percentage. So let's add another calculation node in here, and I will call this GP percent, but I want it to appear in full text on the report, like so. And so now, again, taking my account, I can calculate that out by taking my gross profit value now, and I will divide that by my sales value, and that should give me my gross profit percentage. Fantastic. So now I've got that information. It's time to work out what my expenses are for my profit and loss. So I'll add a new aggregation node again, and this one I will call expenses. And underneath that, I will put a range node this time because all the accounts here don't start with the same number. So we'll put in a range, and I know my first expense account in my list starts with 6,000 and it runs all the way through to the end of my chart of accounts. Now, one of the things I might want to do here is just again restructure this slightly to make sure everything's lined up. So I'll bring the indents back so I get all of the totals in the right place. So other things I can quickly do here as well with this hierarchy that I've built out is when I collapse and drill to the account levels, I can determine whether I want to see the parent first or last. So will the total for sales appear at the top of the list of sales accounts or at the bottom? I want it to appear at the top. Another nice thing that I want to do is maybe put some formatting on this. So I want to put some bolds and maybe some italics in there to make things appear. So there's conditional formatting as well. So negative values could appear in red, and so on and so forth. I'll make this nice and simple. I'll make all the summary sales values bold, not the individual account balances. I'll make all my summary cost of sales bold in exactly the same way. And I'll make all of this the summary of my expenses bold as well. Then in my calculated fields, maybe what I'll do is I'll take my gross profit value and show that as bold and italic. And where that appears in my report, maybe I'll put it within a border as well. So I'll put in a line above and a line below. For my gross profit percentage, what I'll do here is I will put that in bold and italic as well, and maybe just put in a line below because there's already a line above. The other thing I might want to do with that is, because it's calculating, it'll show a decimal value, so 57% would be 0.57. I'll change that so that it will appear as a percentage value, which would be nicer in my report, and that will appear like so. Okay, so the last thing maybe I want to do is just get my net profit value in there. I haven't done that yet, so let's add a new calculation node down at the very bottom, and we'll call this net profit. And again, how that's going to appear in the report is net profit. And my expression then is just, I just need to combine my cost of sales, or sorry, my gross profit value with my expenses value. Okay, job done. Okay, and then finally, we'll just make sure that we have the indentations correctly done on that as well. So we'll push that out, and we will make that bold and italic as well. And I'll just put a little bit of a border on that as well. So I'll put a top border, and because it's the end of my report, I'll put a double line bottom border. And I'm happy with what I've done there. So now coming back to my quick P&L, when I run it this time, because that structure is in place, now we see that it appears in a formatted way, and I'm getting my gross profit and profit percentage, my net profit down here, and I have the ability to drill down and up through those nodes in the report as well. Now, I really like the structure that I just built in my hierarchy totals. So if I want to, I can take that accounts hierarchy that we have here and add it to a library so that it can be used on other reports that I build within the system. So I don't have to redo this for other reports if I want that structure to be reused in other reports as well. But actually, just happily enough, with the report that I've built here as a formatted P&L, let's save that so I can use it again in the future. So I'll do a save as, just like I did with my quick P&L, except this one I will call it my my monthly P&L report, because it's my formatted one that I will be distributing out to other users as well. So there that is ready to go. Now, just a little bit about drill down. So when I look at balances like this within my reports at summary level, for example, I can right click on any balance and get a drill through, and I can get down to GL balances, journal details, periodic postings, and so on within the system. And I can do that at any level within the report and for any balance within the report. And one that people often talk about with Epicor is the whole area of inventory, cost of sales, and WIP drill down. And so let's just have a look at that within the system. So look, there's my inventory raw materials account, and in period 6, I could see that I had credits of 3,470 on that account. And if I wanted to see what that is made of, I can drill down through and go to the journal detail. And again, anybody who uses Epicor will be familiar with seeing the journal details. They are summary postings of the transactions that happen within inventory. And so they appear with a description called periodic posting because there can be multiple transactions involved. So for example, here there's a 3-line journal making up that particular balance. Now, again, one of the really nice things about FastClose is it allows me to drill down actually below that level directly. So I can right click on that balance for that period and drill through. And instead of going to journal detail, I can go directly to the inventory and GL transactions. So drilling down through that again, I get my 3,470. But this time I will see it as the actual transactions themselves. So I can see that these are the part numbers that are coming out of stock for those transactions. So I get that level of detail in the report. But I can see there aren't any purchase orders, there aren't any sales orders or invoices, and I want to know what these are. So I want to find out what those transactions relate to. And so I can do that very quickly. If I said, let's go to the Field Explorer up here. And I know that the type of transactions are available, so that we can look for tran type in the system. And I can see that there is a tran type under part activity transaction. Absolutely brilliant. So we'll drag that into my report. and that will give me that column now in my report view. When I look at the Epicor system here and pull the report right out to the right, there's tran type. And what I'll just reorganize this a little bit, and I'll move this back over here to the right just by transaction date. So now when I run my report, I can see that those are stock to material transactions. So these are issues from stock out to production. Okay, so now I'd like to see what job they're going on, because I want to be able to track that fully. So let's just do a little search on here for job number. And I can see job num here under part activity transaction again. So let's drag that down and push that into my report. And again, just for my own visibility, I'd like to see that beside the tran type. So let's just move that column back out here and run my report. So now I can see that those material issues were stock to material, and they're all against the one job number. So it all happened under one specific job. And if I want to start then doing a further analysis on that, I can. So you can see how very easy it is to get from a periodic or a quarterly or an annual balance and start drilling down through that and getting right down to the individual transactions, and even at a granular level, seeing what's in those transactions, right down to customer, supplier, quantities, part numbers, job numbers, etc., etc. So from a reconciliation perspective, this is an incredibly powerful tool. Now I want to share that data maybe with somebody who isn't a FastClose user, for example. So with the reports that are open, you can see there are three: my quick balance sheet, my monthly P&L formatted reports, and my periodic posting drill down. And I want to share those with somebody, and they're not a normal FastClose user. And so I can take that information out to Excel for the current active and visible report, or all of my open reports. I can say export all. And if I do that in FastClose, it will open up Excel, and it will open all of the reports as tabs within a workbook. So now Excel has just opened. There's my monthly P&L, my quick balance sheet here, and the drill down into that 3,470 balance on that one period. And again, as it comes out of FastClose, it comes out exactly as I saw it. So it's the same summaries, the same groupings, and so on within the Excel environment. Now, I may also be a user who prefers using Excel as my client rather than using the FastClose client, and I can do that as well. So if I open up Excel, I can see that I have a FastClose add-in for Excel. And so once I'm in there, I can open up my reports. And here's my report menu, just as I saw it earlier on. So let's go to the reports that we just created under my folder, and let's look at my monthly P&L report. And let's open that up. And so that will now open up all of the filters and criteria for my report. And again, they're all fully available to me. So instead of maybe looking purely at the balance here, I might want to see balance, and we'll also add budget, and we'll also add the variance into the report. We'll say okay to that. And instead of looking at each individual period, let's look at a cumulative report for the year. So we'll change that to cumulative 12 as well and get that information out of the system. And so now I'm happy with that. So let's run the report, and I get the same structures that I built into my report, except now I've got cumulative actuals, cumulative budget, and cumulative variances, again with those same drill downs. So again, a very powerful way of using FastClose directly from the Excel environment. And that said, there's also standard integration to Power BI as well, so that we can take the results of the reports being generated in FastClose and push them straight out to analytics and analytical dashboards. So thank you for your interest in this brief presentation of FastClose. There is a lot more to see and learn, and we would welcome your contact if you would like to see further and deeper demonstrations of the FastClose reporting tool. And look forward to hearing from you and your inquiries on how to acquire and get FastClose implemented. I just leave you with a brief list of what I think are the key highlights of FastClose. So feel free to pause this recording and read through these in your own time. Thank you very much.